Coming up on Kochie's Business Builders, a social enterprise in need of some e-commerce help. Find out all about Google's content update and how it will affect your business, plus the founder making it easier for tradies to get on the road. G'day and welcome to a new episode of Kochie's Business Builders, the show where we highlight the innovative entrepreneurs and game changers shaping the business landscape. I'm your host, David Koch, and we've got an inspiring episode lined up for you today. First up, we're diving into the world of social entrepreneurship with Nandeeta Maharaj, founder of Goods for Good. Nandeeta's on a mission to revolutionise gift giving by sourcing ethical products from social enterprises right across Australia. But she's looking to amplify her impact. So we've sent e-commerce expert Paul Waddy to help her fine-tune her online strategy.
So Nandeeta, I'm really keen to learn all about Goods for Good. Let's start at the beginning. Where did you come up with the idea? When did you get started?
I launched November 2021. The idea came from working for a social enterprise and learning exactly what level of impact a determined social enterprise can make. There's over 20,000 social enterprises in Australia and no central place to buy from them. So I created Goods for Good.
Okay, so tell me about the business. What's the business model?
Of course. So the business model is I buy wholesale from social enterprises and then I sell retail. I sell mainly online, but any opportunity I have to do a pop-up, I have a pop-up and I learn so much about my customers. So those are the only two ways I sell at the moment.
When you choose a brand to buy from, what are you looking for?
One of the main things when I look for brands to bring onto my platform is how transparent their impact is. That is really important because my customers are coming on my platform and they trust that I have done the research for them so they don't have to do the research. And I try to educate the customers when they come on my platform that when you buy from this company, this is the impact you're helping them create.
Can you tell me a little bit about some of the challenges that you're facing as a business owner?
One of the main challenges is reaching those socially conscious consumers. E-commerce, as you know, is a very crowded, loud market. For me to be heard or seen or found, the cost per acquisition is just off the chart. And for a company like mine, it is very hard to compete in that space.
What are some of the strategies you're using now to grow your audience?
So I'm on Instagram and Facebook. One of the things I do try to do that doesn't cost me money is to take part in events where I know there'll be socially conscious customers. Another avenue that I'm looking at is working with the partners, the companies, the brands that are on my platform. If I do a update on them, their Instagram followers is huge, and these are socially conscious customers because they're following these brands.
What I'm hearing is we want to, one, find those ideal customers. Two, we want to attract them to our website. And three, we want to sell to them and make some more money.
Yes.
G'day folks, Tracy Sheen, the Digital Guide, back with another tech tip. There's a new thing out now that is kind of a step up from the old-fashioned chatbots, and they're known as AI agents. So you might want to check out something like ChatNode, ChatBase, or even Meet Kochie. Now what these do that set them apart is really you feed all of the information you want them to know and you decide who has access to them. So they can become an internal knowledge base. Maybe you want to connect them to your website and act as a customer service 24/7. But the really neat thing about them is you start to give them a personality and branding that is aligned to your company. So if I go to your website and I ask questions, it's going to give me the same kind of response and the same kind of language that you would use if you're interacting with me via email or phone. So check them out, let me know what you think, and I'll see you again for another tech tip.
Coming up, what's useful content? Nick Brogden unpacks how you can take advantage of Google's latest updates to get more views for your site. Plus, PR hacks you need to know to get your business noticed. Welcome back to Kochie's Business Builders. If there is one thing that sends shivers down the spine of content creators, it's a Google update. And in March, the search giant released its biggest core update yet. The aim is to weed out low quality and unoriginal content from search results. So small businesses need to prioritise producing original, high-quality content that offers value to their audience. To help guide us through the changes, SEO expert Nick Brogden, founder of Earned Media, is with us. Nick, break down the changes for us from Google and how it impacts small business.
Okay, so the primary changes that small businesses need to be aware of is that Google are much more aggressive in the differentiation between high and low quality. Now Google is saying if you've got high quality content, you're going to be rewarded. Low quality, of course, you're going to remove visibility and you're going to get less traffic. The thing they need to work out now is what is low quality content and what's high quality content. Now, low quality content is something that a lot of small businesses have been doing for many, many years. And what that is by producing content that is based on a specific keyword and then getting that content to rank. Now, a good example would be for your painting company, how much does it cost to paint my house? You would research that and produce the article,
right.
But the painting company themselves are not really giving you much information, so there's no real expertise behind it. Now, with ChatGPT, you could do that same full process, but you could do it in 1 to 3 minutes, whereas before that would take 1 to 3 days, right? So suddenly you can produce a lot more content really quickly.
So now it's better to do the one a month, but produce it yourself.
So that's the difference now. The high quality content is based on the same process, but instead of using third-party research, you want to use your internal expertise. So then the quality for that would be if the painter themselves is providing the information, if they were to create, say, a bio on their website, which had a big write-up about how many years they've been in painting, what are their qualifications, awards, then when they're creating the content, they're referencing themselves in their articles, and then they can internally link through to their bio.
Creating your own video, will that be classed as quality information as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're creating a video and you're the painter, and then you're producing a video, and then you can turn that into all sorts of other content that you produced, it increases the trust of the website. So what Google want to understand is this information valid? Can we trust what this person's saying?
You have lots of small business clients. In this area of content creation, what are you seeing as some of the biggest mistakes they're making?
For small businesses themselves, the thing they need to look out for is they're producing content, putting it on the website, then leaving it alone. So it could be 3 years later, same example, say how much to paint the house. Now, if Google are going to crawl and find that sort of content, how would they know that there's any trust to that? Because the price has probably changed. It's not in depth enough about providing enough information. So using the new updated information we have, what they should be doing is taking those articles, writing in much more detail,
right,
and updating the price yearly.
Nick, some great tips. Thank you for that. Really appreciate it.
Hi, I'm Samantha Dybac and I'm the CEO and founder of the PR Hub. And today I'm here to share with you my top PR do's and don'ts to help you and your business thrive. Number 1, don't send out press releases for everything. If you're sending press releases without considering their newsworthiness, that's a big no-no. Instead, be objective and research the news. If you can't find similar news announcements, the chances are your news isn't going to get picked up either. Next tip, don't spray and pray hoping that it will land. How many emails do you get each day? Dozens, maybe hundreds. So spare a thought for the inbox of an editor, journalist and producer before you hit send. Think quality versus quantity, narrow down your journalist list and personalise that pitch. Next tip, make sure you link your PR strategy to your business outcomes. PR can be a really powerful tool, but it's not a quick fix, and you shouldn't be doing it in isolation from your business strategy. Instead, think about what you're trying to achieve as a business, and then implement PR tactics that will help you get there.
After the break, entrepreneur Tim Cullen, founder of Tradie Spec, will be right back. Welcome back to Kochie's Business Builders. Now, if you're a tradie watching the show today, I don't need to tell you that having a reliable vehicle is essential to your business. You know it is, yet when it comes to securing finance for your dream vehicle, it's often out of reach. It's a problem entrepreneur Tim Cullen set out to solve with his startup, Tradie Spec. Tradie Spec is not a finance service, but it is a game changer in the world of vehicle access for tradies, providing them with rentals under flexible terms and is helping to keep the nation's plumbers and electricians on the road. Tim, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Tell us how you came up with the idea for Tradie Spec.
Essentially, it was born when my business partner and I were sitting at our office at our previous jobs, watching utes and vans drive past, noticing that they had specific accessories fitted for trade. We know that vehicles that come out of a manufacturer are ready for road, but not necessarily ready for trade. And so quit our jobs, went and bought our first vehicle, which was a second-hand Toyota Hilux, and we put an ad on Gumtree to get that Hilux on hire. Got a call, hit the road and drove out to Richmond, which from where we are is about a 2-hour drive.
Right.
Put it on hire, piled back into my business partner's father-in-law's blue Hyundai Getz, drove back to our site, sat around, wait for the phone call to go and pick the ute up again, head back out to Richmond, got there, and the car was completely filthy, smoked in, no fuel, big scratch down the driver's side door. So at that stage, things were not looking very good for us. But it's 5 years later, we've learned a lot and we've got about over 500 cars on the road now. So,
Wow,
yeah.
okay. What was some of the challenges you had to navigate in those early days, apart from dirty cars and big scratches?
Look, for a business like ours, the biggest challenges are certainly funding and finance, access to cash flow. A fleet business is a very cash-thirsty business to run, as you can imagine. So ensuring that we were balancing cash flow with profitability from the early stages really helped us to secure more funding to meet the demand that we're experiencing and have experienced since day one.
And the concept of rent to own as well, how did you get that across to tradies, to the benefits on how it works?
One of the biggest advantages of the rent-to-own service is the flexibility. So there's the option to exit the contract early if they need, or if they see the contract through, they can own the asset at the end of the contract. The service is a 5-year contract on a premium fit-for-purpose commercial vehicle. All of the on-roads are included in the product. So to simplify it, it's hassle-free and it's jam-packed with value as a service.
So what have been the biggest influences on your life as an entrepreneur?
This is my first go at a business, so it's one of the things I said to myself was that, you know, I would find people who had been there and done that and walked the path before me, and that would give me the ability to lean on someone who had experienced something that I hadn't gone through before. And so being able to call someone that had built a business before was really important. So my mentors have had a huge influence on where I've landed today.
Okay, it's your first business. What are the big differences to what you expected?
It's by far exceeded my expectations. We started with a single Hilux and I could not have predicted the demand. But in saying that, over the last couple of years, we've certainly expanded the horizons for the business, realising that there's way more opportunity than we thought there was.
What's the biggest change you've had to make?
Oh, look, my missus would say more mature.
No more late Friday nights on the beers with the mates.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What have you learnt from customers that you've had to change the business around?
I think it's really important as a business, and we certainly consider ourselves to be this way, that we're not a charity, but we're charitable. And we found that to go a long way when it comes to building goodwill with our customers. So what that means for us is that we look for any opportunity, any possible option that we can provide our customers to ensure that they get into a vehicle, regardless of the circumstances, is really important. And that's in the DNA of our business. It's what we set out to be.
You've just raised $13 million to continue that expansion. What was that process like? Access to funding, access to capital, have you found that difficult?
Yeah, definitely. I would say it gets harder as we grow. In the early days, we didn't need as big of a funding line, obviously, to procure vehicles, but the important part for us, ensuring that we can secure that funding line, is making sure that we're got a good understanding of the financial mechanics of our business, and ensuring that once we receive the fundings, we're constantly updating our funding partners about what's coming up, how we're tracking, the challenges we're facing, and what we're doing to combat
So building
those.
a relationship with the funders so you can access more in the future,
Absolutely.
building that confidence.
100%, yeah.
Okay. And your most valuable lesson you've learnt along the way?
It's about the journey, it's not about the destination.
But you hope to get to the destination quickly, isn't it?
Fingers crossed.
It's a great story. Tim, thanks very much for joining us and sharing it.
Thanks for having me.
Good on you. After the break, Paul Waddy returns to reveal how Nandeeta Maharaj, founder of Goods for Good, can up the ante on her e-commerce game. Welcome back to Kochie's Business Builders. It's time to check back in with e-commerce expert Paul Waddy and Goods for Good founder Nandeeta Maharaj.
Okay, so Nandeeta, in the long run, where do you want to make most of your sales from? Pop-ups, wholesale, or online?
Online.
Okay, so we really need to turbocharge this a bit.
Yes.
So there's no surprise we're in a digital age, so we need to be much busier online. Each brand needs sort of 6 to 10 touch points. So that could be Instagram, Facebook, pop-up, wholesale is a touch point. The first thing that I'd say about Instagram is I want to challenge you to post every day for 30 days. You've got beautiful products, start taking nice photos because we need to see these products on your socials. In 2024, even before someone visits your website, they're coming to check out your Instagram. Instagram wants you to use their platform. The more you post, the more they will start to allow people to see your posts. So if we want organic or free followers, free website traffic, we need to start being really busy on our organic socials.
With posting, you know, there's posts, there's reels, there's stories. What would you recommend?
So here's my rule. Video over static at the moment. So we want to do at least one reel a day, but it's okay to do flat lay images of your product. You've got a beautiful bench top here, you've got some great jewelry. Before you start asking yourself what to post, work out your content pillars. So every brand needs 2 or 3 content pillars. An example of that might be a brand that uses humour on their socials. Another one might use motivation. There's no question that one of your pillars is your actual mission in business, which is to do goods for good. Are there any interests that you have that we could lean into that might resonate with your audience?
I actually love cooking and eating out. One day I posted me just having a coffee and a croissant on a Friday, saying, it's been a long week, it's been a hard week, but I've created this much impact this week. That post got the most likes.
Now, that's perfect, because what we have to remember about social media is that people generally use it for 2 reasons. 1, to be informed, and 2, to be entertained. People don't want to be sold to. So your love of food could absolutely be one of the pillars. So what we do with this is we might say that on Mondays we post about product, where you do a beautiful shot, flat lay of your jewellery on this nice bench top. Tuesdays you might do something with food. Wednesdays we go back to product. Thursdays we might do BTS, which is behind the scenes. When it comes to posting stories, the rule is there is no rules. Post whatever you see. If you go for a walk and there's a beautiful sunrise, absolutely post that. A lot of brands use stories for day in the life. If you filmed your day at a pop-up store, that's your content on social media for the week sorted. And there's a little trick to socials, is film once and repurpose and post 10 times. Make sure you're filming yourself talking to your customers, your genuine passion and excitement. Believe me, people will see that. So now we're going to have a quick look at the front end of your website, which is the customer-facing part of it. So the part of the website that I'm looking at now is called Above the Fold. So above the fold is anything above where you need to scroll down. Now, what you'll typically find is that more than 50% of people who land on a website will bounce. That means they'll leave without clicking once. So really above the fold is where you've got to do all of the selling. That's your elevator pitch. So you've got a nice banner here and some text. That gets straight to the point. But what I noticed just underneath that where it says explore our categories, I think you might be going too quickly into the sell. So what I would do in that little bar there above the fold is call out your 3 or 4 USPs, your unique selling points. And the way you should think about your USPs is the inverse of the problems that your ideal customers are facing. One of their pain points might be that they're worried about the toxins that they might be ingesting. Your job is then to solve it. You take those answers and you consistently reiterate them through everything you do. So you're presenting the problem, and then you're solving it. Education could absolutely become one of your pillars. So straight away we've got product as a pillar, we've got cooking as a fun pillar, and we've got education, I think, as a third pillar. And so people could actually follow you, not to learn what to buy from you, people could actually follow your socials as a source of learning more about ways that they can help the environment.
I've learned so much.
Some great advice there from Paul. Remember, though, to check out Goods for Good for ethically sourced gifts that make a real difference. And remember, if you're looking for tips for the latest news and expert advice, then you can find them online at kochiesbusinessbuilders.com.au or follow Kochie's Biz on Facebook, LinkedIn, Insta and X. We'll catch you next time. Next week on Kochie's Business Builders, the homegrown EV company that wants to give Tesla a run for their money. How do you fall back in love with your business? An entrepreneur has the answer. Plus, meet the Aussie whose luxurious loungewear is taking over the world.